So finding those songs that really capture an audience and finding a way to keep them inspired. But also one of my goals is to inspire people to dance and then let me stop interacting and letting them just dance. Sometimes people need a little bit of encouragement and somebody to guide them and lead them to the dance floor and then let them own that dance party.
Yeah. And you were talking about like creating your own dances. Have you ever taken like a dance class before ever in your life?
That's so funny. Nobody ever asked me that question, and here you are asking me that question.
Yeah.
I did. First time I ever appeared on stage was in 8th grade. Not 8th grade. When I was 8. I was performing with a theater or a children's dance group called CDT, Children's Dance Theater, Virginia Tanner up at the University of Utah. And I was taking dance classes as a kid. I never thought I would really get into it. And then at one of my dance classes, they had somebody who was watching us and silently auditioning us. And I got cast in the role in a ballet called Anna Karenina. And
Ah.
I first performed with Ballet West, 8 years old, 9 years old, on the stage at the Capitol Theater downtown.
Oh.
Now, I don't do ballet. That's not really my jam. That's not really my
Yeah.
thing. But I do, and I did do dance throughout. And I think I'm not a great dancer, but what it did is it helped me as far as knowing how to the step counts, the counting, the structure, being able just to find ways to express myself. And that was the great thing about creative dance was that it was called creative dance. Ballet is very structured, right?
Yes.
I did a little bit of ballet, but creative dance lets you just free flow and do a lot of stuff. So I have a hard time doing structured dance. I have a hard time doing even ballroom dancing.
Yeah.
But I grew up with dancing. It's like, and in the same regard, a lot of the successful DJs that I know, they have a basis in music.
Yeah.
They know how to play the piano. They know how to play the drums. Drums is really good, knowing beats and structure and counts. So if you know music, DJing is great for you. If you know how to dance, if you know how to engage a crowd, being an entertainer so that's kind of how I got into it. It's interesting because not all DJs get up in front of a crowd and dance, but that was my basis for my entertainment was dance and letting go of my inhibitions and being creative and having fun. Whereas some DJs, they know how music works and music structure. So I did take piano lessons, but music is not my strong point. Engaging and dancing is my strong point.
Yeah. And speaking of being an entertainer, our next question is very special.
So I saw on Instagram that you've always had a dream as being like a news anchor for ESPN Sports. And you went to a wedding and a guy saw potential in you. So he put you on to be an anchor for SUTV Sports. I just kind of want to know, what was that kind of like, almost like living out a dream?
Well, actually, I did SUTV in college. So the story with that is when I went to Southern Utah University in Cedar City, I was seeking out opportunities to go into broadcast. And so this is before I even got into DJing, but I was in college. And so SUTV was our TV station. And so what we did is our professor gave us real autonomy and gave us opportunities to do news, to do TV shows. And so I did my own TV show while I was down there, and I did SUTV Sports, which was a lot of fun. We had a great basketball team that went to the NCAA tournament. It's the only time we've ever gone. But back then I did it. I wanted to go into sports, maybe work for ESPN, but I never really had that opportunity. So when I worked for the Jazz, that was a great merging of two things, being able to merge my love of sports and being in front of an audience. And so I would say that was the time that was a really great opportunity for me to be able to merge those two worlds.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what made you want to do like that driveway bus thing?
The driveway bus thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. So what you're talking about, I called it the doorstep DJ. And so the pandemic hit. Everybody remembers this, March of 2020. As I was watching a lot of my friends who were in the speaking world, the DJ world, the entertainment world lose all their jobs or all their opportunities, a lot of people were staying at home and they didn't know what to do. So a lot of people went online and started either DJing online or doing Zoom calls or doing anything to express themselves creatively or connect, right? We were isolated in our homes, and how can we still do what we do and connect with people? So a lot of my friends were streaming on Facebook. A lot of them switched over to Twitch. That became huge within the DJ world, whereas Twitch before was just gamers.
Yeah, just gamers, straight up.
Right. And then DJs invaded Twitch, and now DJs are constantly streaming on Twitch and doing that.
Yeah.
But I saw all of them do this and build their studios. Like I built this studio and I started doing virtual game shows at home. But before that, I thought I want to connect with my community. And it's not through Facebook. I want to do it in person, but socially distance. So I did the doorstep DJ, and I started with my assistant. Her name is Melissa. We went to college together. She introduced me actually to my wife. But Melissa said, why don't we do this thing in my neighborhood? That will be, as we call it, a beta test. Let's test it out in your neighborhood. So I packed up my equipment and I would set up my DJ equipment on the street. And then people could come out onto their doorsteps and their lawns, and we'd all be socially distanced, not spreading the Rona and the COVID. And we would stay exactly where we are, but I would be able to go and engage with them. It worked out great because somebody invited the Fox 13 News to cover it. And after that, people started calling me up, and I would go to communities. And I wouldn't do it for pay. I would only do it for tips. I said, this is not something that I want to make money off of, but what I really want to do is connect with my community, and this is the best way I know how. And it was just a wonderful way just to get out of the house, to jump in a car and go to different neighborhoods. One of my favorite opportunities was going down to Utah County, and I remember driving up, and everybody was outside waiting in anticipation for this neighborhood dance party. And it was so cool. I felt like a rock star just driving up, and everybody's waiting, excited for this dance party. And they were usually around 45 minutes. I sometimes went an hour, but 30 to 45 minutes. And it was just the coolest thing that I've ever done. And well, I've done a lot of cool things. It was just one of the coolest things I got to do during that moment. And then the bus, you're talking about the bus. Yeah. This was another moment of collaboration with my friend Brady. Brady had this bus, and it was just sitting in his backyard, and he had been meaning for a while to turn it into a DJ bus, the beat bus, as he calls it. Yeah. And he finally got it finished during the pandemic. He had some time on his hand. And so he reached out to me, and we created this awesome opportunity to do it together. We probably did 3 or 4 events together. And that really kicked off his beat bus. And so we were able to do these events together and just go out and have a lot of fun in these communities. And so I didn't have to set up my equipment. All I had to do was plug into his beat bus, and there we go. And it was a lot of fun. And working with him was a lot of fun. And his beat bus is still going strong. I'm not doing those neighborhood dance parties anymore. But at the time, it was the right thing at the right time to start connecting and start entertaining.